Hello, everyone. This is Renee Cobb and Adam Banks, and welcome to Overtones Live.
Water is 100 proof. Raise the barn and raise the roof. Horsepower of a different breed, built for comfort and for speed. And bluegrass don't need cutting. Mountain high and valley low, God beside me, here I go. With all the gold and undue spare, summer wind and bluegrass don't need cutting. Oh, the sun shines bright in the green rolling hills of our birth, and you're closer to heaven than any other place upon this earth.
Hello, everyone. This is Renee Cobb, and I'm with Adam Banks tonight, and welcome to Overtones Live. You are listening to Overtones Live off-the-cuff musical extravaganza collaboration special edition show this evening. And Adam, we have so much to be thankful for, and only 1 hour to be thankful on the air live tonight, as we are coming to you from Radiolex WLXU in the Deborah Hensley studio at Grayline Station. Let's welcome my collab partner in all things Kentucky music, the now first-time nominee for a Josie Music Award for Best Radio Show and Podcast, the great Adam Banks.
Hey. Well, thank you so much, Renee. Let's talk a little bit about that before we get started. The Josie Music Awards, we have a preview show coming up very soon for that, and the both of us have been nominated for Radio Show / Podcast of the Year.
This is going to get interesting.
It is, but I don't look at it as competition.
I don't either.
I look at this as just it just speaks volumes of the great work that we do for the local music industry and just the music industry in general. I think that it's just so beneficial for us both.
And let's talk a little bit about that before we talk about this amazing album release party started as we count down until the end of this week for the long-awaited John McHugh album Dream Away will be released. And first, let's give it up for our guest this evening, John McHugh.
Hey,
Woo!
Thank you.
The Josie Music Award nominees have been partially released as we are still awaiting news on 3 big categories. We're still waiting for Songwriter Achievement, Song of the Year, and also Entertainer of the Year. But let's talk about what happened with Radiolex showing up on the nominees list for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Wow. And also, just to let you know, there's also kinds of subcategories in these music business categories. So, folks, anything can happen. We're just absolutely just so glad to be nominated and also be going back to the Grand Ole Opry this year. Adam, coming off of a Lexi Music Awards nomination in March, and now this. Let's talk about this for you. Congratulations to all of our nominees. But what does this mean for you, Adam?
Well, thank you so much. Anytime that you can get your work recognized, it's always a nice feeling. And to be in a room with that's full of talented people in the industry that you're in is exciting, and I am so happy to be a part of it. So grateful for everyone who helped me get to this point. So grateful for all of those award shows for recognizing people in the industry. So it means a lot. And likewise to you. You're used to this. You're always going to award shows.
We'll never get used to it. Well, Adam, let's shift the conversation to talk about tonight's guest and how honored we are to have the great John McHugh in the studio this evening for our Working in Concert album release show series. Let's give it up for John McHugh.
Woo! John,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk all about this album in the next set, but it just seems appropriate and exciting to have you kick off the show with a live in-studio performance of one of Renee's favorite tracks from this amazing album, Dream Away. What are you going to sing for us first up today on the program?
If I have her favorite song correct, I think it's Forever Mine.
Yes, it is.
Which is the first single that I put out, and put a music video out. And I think it was when you saw the music video
Yes.
that you really connected with the words and everything, what it was
Yes.
actually about. But I'll just go ahead and spoil it for you. For me, this is just a love song to playing music live,
Yeah.
doing it as a profession.
I love that. A love affair
Yes.
song to music. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yes. Well, take it away, my friend.
You got it. Consider this my notice that I'm moving on. No longer serves a purpose. The hours are too long. It's hard to say where I'll go. There's only one thing that I know. I've given up my hands to thumb and pick these songs. Given up my health to sing them all night long. Given everything, 'cause I've got a lot to prove. But darling, don't you worry, 'cause I give my heart to you. I miss the crowds that sing my songs. I miss my pals that play along. The energy that ensues when a line connects both me and you. It's hard to say where I'll go. There's only one thing that I know. I've given up my hands to thumb and pick these songs. Given up my health to sing them all night long. Given everything, 'cause I've got a lot to prove. And darling, don't you worry, 'cause I give my heart to you. Yeah, I've struggled here on my own. I couldn't leave you all alone. Could never change these tides that bind. Forever yours, forever mine. I've given up my hands to thumb and pick these songs. Given up my health to sing them all night long. Given everything, 'cause I've got a lot to prove. But darling, don't you worry, 'cause I give my heart to you. Yeah, it's all I do. I give my heart to you. Hey!
Yes, that was John McHugh with Forever Mine, everyone. And John, I do understand that that particular song was co-written by another great Kentucky musician. Talk a little bit about that.
So it was co-written with Grayson Jenkins, who obviously was very big locally here for now. I think he's pretty much a nationally touring artist now.
Yes.
I actually haven't talked to Grayson in a while. I need to get in touch and let him know the songs out there. But no,
You
we
heard
wrote
it here first, Grayson.
That's right. I used to play guitar with Grayson a long time ago, and we got together maybe 3 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And we almost finished that song, but we never actually got to completing it. And we had kind of an idea, and we kind of left it on the shelf. And then I think I forgot about it. And when it was time to do this new album, I found it, and I called him, and I was like, I need to finish it, you know. So he mainly had it started. He brought it to me first. And then when I think I added some parts in the music, and then when it was done, I called him. I was like, I'm going to change this, change that. And I just sent it to him in a text. And he said, go with it, roll with it. So that's how that came about.
Yeah, you're going to have to hit him up and tell him that you just
Yes.
performed.
Well, I was trying to keep all the money. No.
Yeah, we were trying to keep that quiet. Renee ruined it. Well, welcome. And what was making this album with all of these spectacular musicians who have basically come together to honor your body of work? What was that like for you?
It was wonderful. I'll start with the fact that I recorded at Red House Studios in Georgetown with Phil Weisenberger. Phil was the very first person that I ever even encountered a recording studio with when I was in high school. And I did, I think, my first 3 or 4 albums with him, and then we kind of lost. We were always in touch, but we stopped working together for a long time, and I started experiencing new studios. And when I came time to do this album, I thought, I'm going to go back to Phil and just kind of reconnect the dots there, and we've had a blast doing that and working together again. So big thanks to Phil. But all the people that are playing on the album, it's a mixture of everyone that I've played with for many years. And they've all been willing to come do the work and add their own little thing to it. I didn't restrict anybody. I gave them a bare bones acoustic demo, and you put yours. I'm not a bass player. I'm not a drummer. Yeah. You do your thing. You put your spin on it. I have veto power, but other than that,
Yeah.
And just been very lucky with that.
Well, that's amazing. We're going to hear a block of 2 songs now from this release. The first one's titled Funny Love, and we're going to hear What's on Your Heart first. And you have the great Jessie Brassfield singing on Funny Love, I believe. Is that correct?
She's singing background vocals on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that is awesome in itself, but can you tell us about these 2 songs? And one of them features another Kentucky music legend singing the lead on a song you've written.
Funny Love was written by me, and when I first started playing it, it already had like a Beatles kind of Traveling Wilburys vibe, and I decided to not ignore that. I just said, I'm going to go with it full throttle. I want to go down that road. And I called Jessie because I used to play with her. I was her guitar player for a few years, and we're enormous Beatles fans. And she knew exactly what I wanted. I called her and I said, just put some Beatles-ish harmonies on it, and she nailed it. I couldn't have been happier with what she put on there. The other song, What's on Your Heart, I co-wrote with a friend of mine named Doug Lewis. He's a big supporter of mine. He's a musician as well, but he doesn't play out. He usually comes to our shows. He helps us with whatever we need. He's our go-get-it guy. And he's a very good lyricist, and I called him, and he came over and wrote that with us. And immediately that song sounded to me like it needed George Moulton on it. Yeah. And so I called George, he's my bread and butter. That's who I play with on a regular basis to this day. And George came in and gave it kind of a Conway Twitty vibe. So we went from Beatles to country real quick on that.
Well, I love that. So we're going to hear that in this next block. So you're going to be able to hear first Funny Love and then George Moulton on What's on Your Heart.
what's on your heart. Is something about to start? Tell me what's on your mind. And do I play a part? Tell me, baby, what's on your heart? Oh, did I play it cool? Am I just your fool? I just need to know what's on your heart. Is something about to start? Tell me what's on your mind. And do I play a part? Tell me, baby, what's on your heart? Tell me, baby, what's on your heart? Oh, tell me, darling, what's on your heart?
That was John McHugh's song Funny Love and What's on Your Heart. And we are on Overtones Live off the cuff, coming to you from Radiolex at Grayline Station this evening on WLXU 93.9 FM.
To say where I'll go, there's only one thing that I know. I'm giving up my hands to come and pick these songs, giving up my hands to sing them all night long, giving everything 'cause I've got a lot to prove. Darling, don't you look aside, give my heart to you.
Well, let me just say, while you are young right now, okay? Let me just back
Yeah,
up.
no, while you
Yeah.
were young.
You were young,
are
which
young.
is true. And by the way, I've heard a story about John when he was younger, that the girls used to call him John McHugh.
I like that. John
That's a
McHugh.
legendary story.
Very creative for a bunch of kids on the playground too. John McHugh.
Yes, but while you are young, you are considered by many to be a musical veteran. Tell us a little bit about where we've seen you on stage when perhaps you didn't have a microphone in front of you singing.
Most likely all the time, because I've always just been known as a sideman guitarist for somebody else. But I've been playing in the Lexington area since 2005, and I've been playing with George Moulton, Garrett, or Puddin, as I call him
Yes.
now, Jesse Pennington, or Brassfield now, and I used to play with Hannah Ellis, who's out doing her thing in Nashville now, Grayson Jenkins, Greg Austin. I could keep going, but there's a lot. But mostly in the country sector, where Austin City, Tipsy Cow, and Georgetown, places like that's where I've kind of stayed.
Yeah, and Adam, we were talking, John has possibly been in every single location that we've had Overtones over the last 8 years.
Wow,
He's
that's a
been
lot
at the
of places.
Lyric. He's been in the basement of the STEAM Academy.
Yep.
He's been in a classroom. We got put in detention one day, didn't we? Austin City Saloon, Tipsy Cow. So we're just really glad that you're here with us today
Making the
in this
rounds.
studio. Yeah, making the rounds. Now, in the song, we're going to back up a little bit, Forever Mine, and also in the tribute video. One can sense that you just really love music, don't you?
I do.
When I listened to that song, I had quite a different take on what it meant than perhaps what you meant. And while you told me that Grayson also had a different take on what that meant, listening and interpreting is all in the ears of the beholder,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
It is.
What has been your relationship with music over the years?
I have wanted to quit more times than you can imagine. It is the hardest thing that I've ever done. I've been doing it since I was 12 years old, paying gigs since I was 12 years old. And it is extremely frustrating, or it can be frustrating. But then there's also just that one gig that will keep you going for another 5 years or another 10 years. And even when you're broke or nothing's going right for you, the guitar is always sitting in the bedroom or somewhere where you can just go grab it. It doesn't go anywhere. So to me, that's what that song was about, that I might want to stop doing this in the first verse. But in the second verse, I'm like, no, I'm never going to stop doing this, even though I want to sometimes.
John, I'm sure there are several things that get in your way of making it frustrating to do music. What is the most frustrating thing do you feel like that you've had to face in your music career?
Recently, cell phones.
Cell phones.
Nobody pays attention.
Yeah.
That's the biggest hurdle, playing live. When I first started playing, crowds were packed, bars were packed, everyone was right on the dance floor, and now you've got to be either get their attention so fast and get them out there and get their head out of their phone. That's really frustrating to play live.
I didn't think about that.
I know, and you do got to think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can think positively and think that, they're still listening to you as they're multitasking through their phone. But I know what you're saying. It can get a little frustrating. Used to, people were all, when you look into the crowd of a concert back in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Completely different.
Everybody was just keen in on the artist and looking. And now, I'm not saying that they're not listening, but their undivided attention isn't on the artist. So I would say, that's very frustrating.
Yeah.
What else has been frustrating?
Oh, man. Just trying to get somebody to, even not just live, but like this record, for instance, to get them to actually listen to it. I mean, because sometimes you'll put it out there, you'll promote it.
Yeah.
They might like it, they might share it. But I've got the little thing on my phone that tells me who's actually listening to it, and I know that they're not.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
Tell me what that
Nice
is.
and not nice.
What? Wait, so you mean to tell me that you can ask people if they've heard your music?
Not personally, but I can tell
How
an
many?
exact number of
Oh.
people that have streamed it or downloaded it or whatever. So I know if you're lying.
Oh, okay.
You have to have a lot of really good musical self-esteem to survive.
You do.
But it's just, I get a lot of support from a lot of people, but I can also get a lot of, man, I really loved your album, and I can't wait to go download it. But then it's like, did you really listen to it?
Yeah.
That can be, and that's a personal struggle.
Yeah.
That might just be me being paranoid, too, putting out my own solo stuff for the first time. But that's been a thing, like, can you get someone to just play the whole thing all the way through and tell me your honest opinion?
Well, let me just
really
say,
hard to get that.
Right. And let me just say this. Sometimes even Renee and I can compare it to radio. Sometimes we're doing radio and we're thinking, is anybody really listening to
Right.
our shows? Are people really paying attention, listening? When we post them on podcast, are they listening? And it gets you down, it gets you frustrated, but it just takes that one show that you feel good about or
Exactly.
somebody to come and say, hey, heard your show the other day, loved it.
Is the hard work worth it?
Yeah.
That's the main thing. And then, like you said, you might have one person just run up and yell and clap, and that's all it takes to get me to do it even longer.
Right. Same. I understand. Well, John has been quoted in Renee's article when describing this album that this album is meant to be played loud in a car with windows down, sitting next to a loved one. If that scenario doesn't match your current situation, it's still an old-fashioned rock and roll record.
That's right.
And in this next song you are going to perform in studio for us, it's called Rewind. The title may be self-explanatory, but maybe not. So what can you tell our listeners about the origins of this song, Rewind?
To be honest, I don't really know. Sometimes when I write songs, they're not really autobiographical. They're just an idea that may have come into my head, and then I just roll with a story that came out of nowhere. And that's kind of what this one is. It's not really about me. It's just something hit me that rewind, and I'm a big movie freak, and I started watching movies, and I was like, man, life is not like that. I wish life was like that all the time. And so I just kind of created a story out of thin air about that scenario,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is John McHugh with his excellent song, live in studio, Rewind.
Thank you.
are the best of times left in the past. How the years are moving fast. The secrets I keep to hold my pride. Tears I've wept, I hold inside. It's not your fault, these things I've done. Don't give up, and I won't run, 'cause I love you. Though it's hard to see, I ain't going far. Have a little faith in me. It's time to start over. Before I lose it all. It's not like I dream. Don't blink your eyes. And it's not like the movies. You can't rewind time. If I could rewind. A second chance is all I need. Oh, I still believe in dreams. And with your help, I know I could change. Maybe still keep all I've gained. And it's time to start over. Before I lose it all. It's not how I dream. Don't blink your eyes. And it's not like the movies. You can't rewind time. Yeah, if I could rewind. It's time to start over.
Yeah.
Nice job.
And folks, that was John McHugh performing live in studio his song Rewind. And John, let us say once again how wonderful it is to have you on Overtones Live and Off the Cuff. Let us say once again how wonderful it is to have you on Overtones Live and Off the Cuff. Today, we are just so happy to have you here playing your music, listening to your music. You're doing it live. We're hearing some of your great songs off of your upcoming album. Now, a lot of people, the anticipation for this album to drop, like, what do you do to stay calm, to get your mind off of the wait? Because I know it's kind of almost like election day. You know, you're just waiting for the results to come in. So you're waiting for all of this feedback after your album release. So how do you stay calm?
Calm, I don't know if it's the word I would use, but I'm doing something different this time. This is my third solo album that I've done. And the first two were kind of a try it and let's see what happens kind of thing. I recorded it and immediately put it out and then didn't think about it anymore. This one I'm actually promoting. I didn't really promote the other albums like I am this one. So to keep calm, I'm trying to do new content every single day. Putting out a new short teaser video, putting out 3 singles before the album comes out. That's stuff I never did on the other albums. So I've been working my butt off trying to not stay calm. Really, I'm trying to really work and get the word out this time and see if there's any difference.
He's also had some really great photography around this project as well.
Thank you. I took those myself.
Oh, you did a great job.
Some selfies?
My goodness.
Was it some selfies that you took, or did you set up a timer?
I used a little timer.
Yeah, they are really great. And I put a lot of those in the article that we wrote too.
Yeah.
But when I heard that John was going to release this album, he kind of put out a feeler for some people to help him get the word out. And I hopped on that instantly because I had to write this article. And in the article, which is on overtoneslive.com on our blog, you will see a lot of the photography, but you'll also hear some of these songs as well.
Well, John, you have collabed on other people's songs, on their music. Now it's time for you, since you have an album coming out, to have collaborators come on your songs,
Right.
on your music, and collab for you. So talk a little bit about the people you have had come on your music and collab with.
Sure. I'll start off with my bass player, Marty Clough. He's in George's band with me. And usually every album I've done, I have so many people that I've worked with that I have a different band on every album that I've done.
Yeah.
And I do that on purpose just so I can work with all my friends. And I hadn't worked with Marty in the studio before, so I brought Marty in. My good buddy Jamie Eads on drums, he has actually worked with me on a couple Christmas songs that I've put out. I do a Christmas song every year. It's kind of a tradition.
Oh, nice.
And he's done those, but he's like, when are you going to call me for like some original stuff? And I was like, I promise the next one you're on the phone, you know? And
Yeah.
I got Jamie. He knocked it out of the park. Really good buddy of mine, Steve Lyon, played keyboards and organ. And he's just a legend around here. He's played with everybody. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal talent. And I was very gracious to have him come on. I also had my friend Chase Lewis, who I've played with for years, and he used to be on the road with Tyler Childers. I mean, he's done cruise ships. He's been to the big stage and to the small stage, and he's been very, very good friend to me and played on everything I've ever done. And then another guest that I've never worked with before actually is a guy named Jim Gleason, who he also is a legend around here. He's been playing for everyone for years, and he is an extremely good slide player, and I am not. And so when I knew that song needed a slide guitar on it, I called Jim and said, you want to work with me? And he was thrilled to do it. So just lucky to have friends that are actually willing to do it and do a great job at it.
Right, and that's great that you include your friends. He's like the Adam Sandler of music. You know how Adam always includes his buddies in his movies? You always include your buddies into your songs and your music. That's great.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that just freaked you out a little bit, that made you a little nervous to work with? And did you ever have a pinch myself moment where you're like, gosh, this is surreal, I'm actually doing this?
I do that every single time that I get to work with Maggie Lander.
Maggie Lander.
Maggie Lander is singing a lead vocal on the song Burn Me that's coming out on this album. And I've been playing with her since she was 18, I think, 18 or 19. And we've been in several different bands together in different formats. And I just love the way she sings. And I love her original music too. But there's always this thing that she does in her live show that she just takes it to another level. And I hadn't heard her do that yet. So I got her together. We wrote this song together. And I said, I need you to not play. I don't want you to play on it. She's a fiddle player and phenomenal fiddle player. But I was like, I want to hear you sing and belt on a rock song. Because I haven't heard you do that. And I think everyone would love it. And so that, when she did it and she knocked it out of the park, that was a pinch me moment for me in the studio.
And what song is that?
It's called Burn Me.
It's coming up, actually,
yes.
and we're going to hear another double header block
Cool.
that includes that song from John's album. And one of the songs also features, like we were talking about, female vocalist who I absolutely adore. I've heard her on a lot of Derek Spencer's albums as well. I just think she's phenomenal. And anytime she's on stage, it's like electricity. So I'm a big fan of Maggie Lander. And John, you have a lot of great friends who are also talented and also seem to want you to succeed as much as you've helped them succeed. And that's what the theme is today, folks. Making music and albums and performing in concert, it takes both a skill set and a mindset. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And we're going to hear that in action. Here's first Burn Me, and then we're going to also play Ain't Worth Talking About.
All right.
When we met, we had it all before us, no regrets. It was easy to let it slide. Hadn't shown your other side for so long. They told me to let it go by we're talking about. You can be black or blue, practice all those strange religions too. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Just don't stop preaching to me, 'cause I'm going to hell with Jerry Lee. So let's play some tunes, yeah, something that grooves. When you come in my house, toss that other stuff out. If it ain't music, it ain't we're talking about. Never been a single president could move me like Dylan did. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I listen to all those lies when I'd rather hear a guitar cry. So let's play some tunes, yeah, something that grooves. When you come in my house, toss that other shit out. If it ain't music, it ain't we're talking about. If it ain't music, if it ain't music, if it ain't music, it ain't we're talking. It ain't we're talking. What we're talking about.
That was Burn Me First with Maggie Lander and Ain't Worth Talking About from the album Dream Away by John McHugh. You also have albums that you've made prior to this release. What are they, and where can fans hear more of John McHugh after this show and perhaps before your new album drops later this week?
Sure. Well, all of my stuff you can find at all the streaming music platforms, YouTube and Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can get music, you can find me. The first album I put out was in 2015 called Anger to Ambition, and it also featured all my friends. And I mean, same deal, like you said, I'll take the Adam Sandler of music. I'll take that. And then during COVID, I did my second album, which is called Confidential. And then was supposed to have been my third album, but I ended up co-writing half the songs with Gary Cal, and he sang on half of them, so we ended up doing it as a duo album together, and that's called Different Shade of Blue, which is kind of like a bluesy album. And that's the three that I've done.
That's incredible. What are some of the other ones that you've played on?
Mostly, I've done a lot of stuff with Garrick. He's been my songwriting partner for years. A lot of his stuff I've co-written with him. My stuff he's co-written with me. And I've played on some of George's stuff. Not too many. A lot of his stuff's all been done in Nashville with session players. But there's a guy in Midway that used to own the Darlin' Jean's restaurant. His name's Red Butler. I played on his EP a couple years ago. And just whoever's got the dough, I'll show up.
He's a great studio musician.
John, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And this is just something that's just personally confused me a lot just in life.
Yeah.
When I hear artists talk about this, I always hear artists say, so-and-so helped me co-write this song. Mm-hmm. So-and-so helped me co-write this. So what does that look like when you are co-writing a song? Do you write the whole song in its entirety, turn it in, and then they review it, send notes back, and then you revise? How does that
That's
work?
very close to how Garrick and I work. Usually, and he'll admit this too, he's a closer, and he usually doesn't like to start songs. I'll come up with the idea. I'll get it about 75 to 80% done, give it to him, and then he'll change or veto a few words. You put too many words here, too many syllables here, because he's a really good singer. He knows that I've put too much jumble in there, and he'll fix it, and he'll find a way to close the song and make it better. But everyone's different. The song that I did, Burn Me, with Maggie, we actually scheduled a date. Let's get together, let's write. And we sat at the couch and just knocked it out in about an hour and just did it right there and from start to finish. So they're all different.
Do you ever feel like that you are allowing somebody to co-write on your song? You tell them, okay, we want to co-write on this. I want you to help me co-write. And then they don't really contribute that much. Do you feel pressure to still put them down as a co-writer? Or do you just say,
That's a great question. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes.
Legally, I would have to put them down as a co-writer, but if I feel like it's not good, I just don't put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you feel like you have made 95, 96% of the song.
Oh, I got you.
Do you still put them down as a co-writer?
A third is a word, as they say in Nashville.
Yeah.
If you
Really? Okay.
A word is a third. I had one song on my first album that Garrick and I wrote on the bus going to Florida. Mm-hmm. We were in the back lounge, and it was 99% done. We were stuck on one word, and my drummer Randy Hampton walks in and says, "You should say this word right here," and we were like, crap, I guess we got to put Randy down as a writer now.
I was wondering how that worked. So is that how most people do it? Like if you contribute any to the song, you are a co-writer?
I mean, I think you can get away with and the and maybe not get any credit. But yeah. If the word is essential,
that answers my question.
A word is a third.
Have you ever wanted to get off of a co-write with someone?
Yeah. Have you ever
Yes.
I've heard some stories about that,
I won't
too.
mention names, but I will say yes to that.
Yeah.
Just leave it there.
So, it's okay. You take it. You just take it from here. It'll be
That's got
fun.
you written all over
That's
it.
got you written all over it. It's a hit.
That's right.
You just take it
Now,
yourself.
if it is a hit, then I change my tune real quick.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I
loved it.
love that.
Sometimes you just never know, though, what you throw at the wall and what sticks.
Exactly.
Definitely. Well, I just want to mention that we were going to play another song off there, Already Dead, and you'll have to wait till Friday to hear that one, if that's okay. And we're going to move right into the closing. And
Sure.
John, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate your all's help and everything.
Well, Adam, now it's time to say goodbye to all our family.
It was so fun, though. I mean, it was just fun just to always do this with you. And
Oh, it is so fun. And this is just the beginning of a lot that we will be doing together. Adam and I have decided we really like each other. I'm calling him my work husband now. So, hey, that's where we're at.
yeah, that's where we're
That's
at.
okay with War.
As her real husband sits across from me, giving me this look that I'm afraid to look
I
over.
love it. I love it. But I want to congratulate Adam Banks once again and Radiolex for their Josie nominations, as well as the other, I think, 45. If I've counted at last count, this number could be increasing. All of those that will be gracing the red carpet at the Grand Ole Opry in October. And Adam, this is going to be a fun few months as you and I will be breaking it all down with nominees in our studio and on the air until it's countdown time in the fall. And that went by so fast last year, didn't it?
Yes, it
we
did.
started this actually this week last year, and that was
Wow.
our first show together.
Wow.
So happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Here we are again, starting it again.
That's right.
And this time, I'm a nominee, too. Wow.
Yes, you are, and so is Radiolex.
Yes.
How much better could that be? We want to thank our guest, John McHugh, for being with us this evening, and thank you in our audience for making a choice to listen locally this evening. As we close the show, and Adam, I'll just go ahead and have you fire that up. You're going to be hearing the Goodwin Brothers, who are nominated once again for Bluegrass Band of the Year, a couple of vocal categories, in both the Josies and the Hollywood Independent Music Awards. They just had some early nominees released, and we had 3 coming out from Kentucky. Andrew Moore, who was on our show, and also the Goodwin Brothers, and we have Will Goodwin for Vocalist of the Year already.
So impressive.
Already. So they can start packing their bags. They're going to Hollywood. And the Goodwin Brothers will be closing our show with Everyday Thing. We hope as we go through 2024 and beyond that you will make all of the guests we have heard during our time here on the air your everyday thing going forward.
Our love is an everyday thing, taking each day as it comes.
Until next week, this is Renee Cobb.
And I'm Adam Banks.
We are working in concert each and every week to bring you the best this great state of Kentucky has to offer music fans, reminding you that where words fail, music speaks. Listen locally, everyone. Have a great week.
Everyday thing. It's a country band on a Friday night, a two-step dancing underneath